Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Adam Aron did it again. He caused AMC stock to fall like a rock after earnings, down about 11.5%. It was a disaster. It was exactly the disaster that we should have forecasted ahead of time. I guess that's my bad. Maybe I was a little optimistic that something would be different this time. After all, that's the last time I will believe any kind of hype that Adam Aron throws out pre-earnings. And the stock wanted to rally. The stock actually closed above the 50-day moving average for the first time since November 9th, the day of earnings. So before earnings yesterday, you actually closed in regular trading above that 50-day moving average, and Adam Aron spoiled it yet again. So we're going to go over everything that was said, my opinion on the earnings call, and what this means for AMC stock going ahead. We'll also get into the data here on the day today, because there is some very important data with PCE, and I want to give you guys a rundown of that and what's going on in broad markets. Hit that like button as well as subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. So like I said, Adam Aron sure did talk a lot on the earnings call, but a lot of that blame game, a lot of the, we have to raise capital. We have a lot of debt coming due in 2026. We have to extend out our maturities, blah, 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 blah. I said it very clearly before earnings, literally like the whole week heading into earnings. I said AMC stock would probably fall about 10% if everything is okay and nothing spectacular. It's just the same old kind of situation. AMC stock would likely fall 10%. You're currently down about 11.32%. I was correct there. Now, I did have a little bit more of that benefit of the doubt kind of mentality, that Adam Aron would give us a commitment not to dilute shareholders. As I explained then, that was the only, and I mean the only thing that would have saved AMC stock, that would have caused AMC to, in my opinion, rally even 50% the next day. Let's get this straight. Let's put this out there. Adam Aron does not want AMC stock to go higher. As much as he says he does not. He doesn't. Let's be honest here. He doesn't want AMC stock to go higher. It's very hard to get a stock to go higher if your CEO does not want it to go higher. Take, for an example, Meta. It's almost like Mark Zuckerberg uses Meta stock as a scoreboard. Meta stock got destroyed in 2022. It hit a low of $88. Where's the stock today? $485, $86 per share. Meta has rallied huge from its lows. Meta has rallied 456% from the lows. Now, why did that happen? Mr. Adam Aron, let me tell you. That's because he wanted AMC stock to go higher. You indeed do not want AMC stock to go higher. If you did understand economics of the markets, when he was going over the earnings call, he would have said the main reason why AMC stock is down is because we have been selling a bunch of stock at levels that fundamentally make no sense. Take, for an example, if AMC stock is $20 per share, selling, I mean, this is like basic, I would say like elementary grade kind of math here, right? Adam Aron has been selling stock in blocks of 40 million. If you sell 40 million shares at, let's say, $4 per share, you raise $160 million. If you have 40 million of debt, that's good news. If you have 4 billion of debt, that's bad news, because you're getting, what, 10%, 20% dilution based on where the float is. 10% dilution at 40 million shares would be if the float was 400 million. I believe the float's like 350 million or so. So you're getting a little bit over 10% dilution every time Adam Aron raises 40 million shares. And then it, does drop a little bit from there. But still, that's a lot of dilution to raise pennies compared to the debt load that you have. For an example, if Adam Aron said, yeah, guys, we're just going to not dilute shareholders for the next 6 months, that's all he had to say, and AMC stock would have soared after earnings. And then you get into a situation where, let's say AMC stock's $15 per share, and you raise 40 million shares. Then you raise $600 million. You get some little FOMO, hopium, hypium into AMC stock. You fluff up the share price a bit just by telling people you're not going to dilute shareholders for a while. And then you raise $600 million. That is much better than $160 million, theoretically. This fundamentally actually makes sense if you have a lot of debt. Fundamentally, that makes a lot of sense at that point to sell stock. Well, yeah, that's just not how Adam Aron rolls. He is going to drive AMC stock into a very low place. Now, I don't know how much lower we're going to go. I think, let's be honest, on a risk to reward basis, AMC stock in the $4 range, it's not a bad buy, in my personal opinion. But the stock's not going to go higher until Adam Aron wants it to go higher. Until Adam Aron wants AMC stock to go higher, it's going to do what it's going to do. Okay? Now, the kind of, caveat there, I guess, if you will, is Adam Aron could today, tomorrow, the day after that, make the stock go higher. So anytime now, it's not rocket science. You can get AMC share price higher. And I found it very frustrating. Maybe I was the only one that found it frustrating on the earnings call when Adam Aron was going over reasons why AMC stock was in a low place, is not doing well. He talked about the box office. He talked about potential manipulation of AMC stock and that AMC does not control the stock exchange, that they can't do anything about that. It's the stock exchange that needs to do it. But he said nothing about dilution. I was like, Adam Aron, man, that's a good job, dude. Dude, you're doing so good on that earnings call, man. Just totally blindsided or didn't talk about the real reason why AMC stock is lower. I just found it kind of hilarious as I was watching the stock fall. I was just clapping. Like, dude, hell yeah, man. Oh, that is pure denial right there. I've never seen denial so strong in financial markets with a stock ever before in my life. But denial is definitely a real thing. You saw that on the earnings call last night. But yeah, guys, that's kind of the general consensus. AMC stock's not a bad buy here. It's not going to do anything until Adam Aron wants the stock to go higher. Question is, does he want the stock to go higher? When will he want the stock to go higher? Maybe you got to get closer to 2026. Maybe you got to get closer to crunch time, maybe going bankrupt. Maybe that's when Adam Aron wants to get the stock higher. But at that point, it's kind of a lose-lose proposition, because the longer you take to get the stock higher, the harder it will be to get the stock higher. Think about this like an option, right? If you, let's say ARM has their lockup period on March 12th, 90% of the float is locked up via SoftBank. SoftBank owns 90% of the float. They can sell as many shares as they want coming on March 12th. You're potentially looking at 90% dilution if SoftBank wants to dump. ARM would probably go to a $30 or $40 stock if they sell all of their stake. Okay, well, from now until then, ARM is $130, right? As you get closer to that event, you're going to see a potential movement in the stock, right? The stock's probably going to drop into March 12th. Even though you're heading to that event, your calls are still going to lose value. The markets are going to say there's less of a chance the stock's going to go higher heading into March 12th. Even if you have a year or two on your options, they're probably going to fall, at least the calls. Kind of the same way with the stock. The closer you get to 2026, that big debt maturity that comes due, which is, almost $3 billion that comes due in 2026. The closer you get to that, the harder it will be to get the stock higher, because the more people are going to say there's just no way you're going to be able to pay off the debt. I mean, we're not just going to go out and buy the stock so you can raise capital to pay off $2 billion of debt. No, you got to do that well in advance. Good news is there's still some time. We're not getting quite to that point. But once you start to get into 2025, let's say Q1, Q2 of 2025, it's going to be substantially harder to get AMC stock higher. Because it's like if you knew a stock was going to go bankrupt in let's say 2 years, how much value are you going to provide? Are you going to give that stock 2 years before that date? Not too much. Or if you knew the world was going to end in 2 years, would you act a little differently? Probably, right? Kind of the same scenario, just in a more dramatic analogy. So, I think, point is, when Adam Aron wants a stock to go higher, the stock will go higher. It's literally as simple as that. Now, we did have some data that came out today. This data came in pretty much in line with expectations, but in line with expectations was good enough. Now, some parts of this data came in a little bit on the strange side. Core PCE month over month came in at 0.4%. Last month, you came in at 0.1% for the revision. So the revision was very good there because the prior number was 0.3%. So that was a big downward revision for last month. This month over month number we got of 0.4%, a little bit, definitely high. In line with expectations, but we'll see. Maybe there's hope for a big downward revision coming next month. The thing that really stands out is personal income month over month. That was expected to come in at 0.3%, 0.4% in that range, depending on who you ask. And we actually came in at 1% positive. They tried to say this was portfolio management and dividend income. But yeah, that's still a huge jump. And maybe there are some concerns out there that some of this income gain can start to kind of make its way into inflation. We'll see. That's the wage price spiral argument. I think if we did get a wage price spiral, it would be on a very, very small scale. So there is that. And personal spending month over month came in at 0.2%. The estimate was also 0.2%. Judging off of last month, 0.7%. 0.2% higher than that. Still very decent number at that, showing the economy is doing okay at the bare minimum. So yeah, that's kind of a wrap for AMC. Let's take a look at the sentiment today for AMC. I can only imagine where the sentiment is. I honestly haven't even looked at this, but AMC down 11.5%. Yeah, I would expect that. Extremely bearish at 9 out of 100 today. Yesterday, you were at 73. People were pretty optimistic heading into the earnings, and Adam Aron, again, never fails to disappoint. It's like routine at this point. Don't expect any kind of excitement or good news from AMC. Even if AMC wanted to, they would still disappoint. Message volume is extremely high today at 89. Yesterday was at 77. So a lot of people are talking about AMC. And they're bearish. Basically, no one's bullish today. Participation ratio is at 54, so a decent amount of people are talking about AMC. And yeah, I mean, let's just be honest. AMC stock deserves the 11% drop that we've seen today because of, again, the debt that comes due, the lack of will or want to get AMC stock higher. It's a problem. Let's be honest. Adam Aron needs to get out of his role of CEO at AMC. I think his tenure is overdone at this point, and he did what he had to do to rouse up the community back then. But if Adam Aron stays in his role as he is right now, AMC will eventually go bankrupt. I don't know if it'll be 2026, 2028, 2030, but eventually AMC, unfortunately, will go bankrupt or, get delisted off the markets. That's kind of the end of the road, if you will, for AMC stock. Just give it enough time. Percent of stocks above their 50-day moving average, 53.84%. You are up 2.66% here on the day today. So a little bit of a broadening out of our markets. You are definitely seeing small caps performing a little bit better today. At one point, the Russell was up like 2%. The Russell, as of right now, is only up a half of 1%. Definitely giving back quite a bit of that gain that you've seen in the beginning of the day. S&P up a tenth of 1%, Nasdaq up 0.32%, and the Dow is up down 0.22%. So, yeah, definitely a rough day across the board for some stocks, and definitely stocks like Snowflake not having a great day as well. So let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.